Anyway, so going to do a message on the divine unions, twin flame unions, chosen ones unions, since it has been heavily coming out. There is like a wave of divine unions right now coming together that have that are in each other's energy. So we need to. So I've been being called to confirm all of this, but one thing that I do that is like for those who are trying to manifest this, these people that are the relationship is manifested now, or like the twin flame, the divine counterpart, the kingdom spouse, whatever, they manifested it because they aligned, because they did the work to get into this union. They have been operating in that frequency to first of all become a divine counterpart, and therefore they can be a magnet to a divine counterpart. So that is not gonna happen overnight. Again, just like everything, Rome wasn't built in a day. God didn't create everything in one day. So finding your twin flame, your divine counterpart, is not going to happen overnight, in a month. You need to really sit alone, do the work, get in alignment, stay in alignment, as being a divine counterpart. And what does that entail? That entails being in isolation, being alone, completely cutting off communication from every single person that you have ever been involved, every hookup, every one night stand, every relationship that didn't go right, everything. Because you're not going to attract a divine counterpart when you're out still on dating apps, still getting people's numbers and hooking up with them, doing one night stands, going on dates. That is not going to get you in alignment with a divine counterpart. And yeah, they don't tell you this, but you're gonna be lonely, you're gonna be alone. You have to be alone in order to manifest a certain person. Or it's the same with anything, but specifically with love, God has already given us a code. He's already giving us all these blueprints of how we should be, and what a true divine union is. So if you're out partying, dating a bunch of people, not being celibate, not preserving your energy, your purity, you're not gonna attract anybody. If you are out cheating while you're in a relationship, if you're doing this, you're not going to attract a divine counterpart. Because how are you expect to find somebody that you can marry and settle down with and be with together, but you're over here cheating on somebody? How does that make sense? No, you are definitely not in alignment if you're doing that. And it's going to take a while. You're gonna have to be alone, celibate, no communication, like literally ghost mode, hermit mode, for at least a year, like even longer. It just really depends on you, on what you want to do, on you actually doing the work and committing to that, what you're trying to manifest. In this case, it is a divine union, somebody that you can actually be with long term, somebody that's not going to betray you, cheat on you, hurt you, abuse you, hit you, all these things. So it is going to be hard, and it is going to be lonely. And the more that you get into alignment, the more that you do the work, that you separate from this hookup culture that is like normalized, that is like it's demonized. Like this is it's beyond like, no, this is why you have to separate. And this also shows you why when you are not in alignment, you know, you're contributing part of that hookup culture. It's so easy to, you know, attract so many people. Like you have all these like people, you know, that come into your energy, and you know, you guys have, you know, your temporary moment encounters, whatever. And it's so easy, you know, there's so many people, and it's like just easy. Like you can go out, give somebody a look, and you know, it just, and it's because, and then now when you're in alignment, it's like nobody, there's just absolutely nobody to attract. Why? That also shows nobody, hardly anybody, is actually doing the work to get into alignment, to be a divine counterpart, so they can be a magnet for that same counterpart, that same energy, that same frequency. So obviously when you are in alignment to a divine, to be a magnet, to you know, have a divine counterpart, be in a divine union, you're barely going to attract anybody. Why? Because there's hardly anybody doing the work. There's so many people out there, like 80%, and it's so sad, that are not doing the work, that they would rather contribute to this hookup culture because they don't want to do the work, they don't want to be alone, they don't want to do these things, they don't want to be celibate, they don't want to, you know, take accountability for what they are doing wrong and what is causing them from coming into union, from being in alignment. Because some of us, we may not be cheaters, or you know, but we are not putting up boundaries, we are not holding people accountable, we are not limiting access, we are becoming too accessible, and then it's normalizing this behavior, this type of you know, love or whatever. It's this culture of love that is hookup culture, that is not even real love. It's just, we're lost, you know. Another reason why we need God, why we need Jesus, is everything is just purified after that, and everything makes so much sense. But you know, that is just part of it. It is going to be hard. You're gonna notice the difference when you used to contribute to the hookup culture versus how lonely it becomes, how rare it is to be operating in this type of frequency, because you will feel the shift, and you will not really attract anybody because you are in alignment. And then you're gonna see not many people are in alignment, so that's why it kind of takes a while. And especially if you are a twin flame, if you have incarnated, reincarnated, you know, if you have had a past life, you have to come back. You come back and have to, you know, do everything over again. And only once you awaken back to like the truth, the right vibration, the high vibration, that is when you are in alignment. And then the masculine as well. First, usually it is the feminine, and then the masculine awakens, and then that's when they can come into their twin flame union. But it could take, you know, it just really depends on your awakening. But you know, that's just part of the message. I will touch back on the twin flame journey, and not even twin flame journeys, just how to align with a divine counterpart and become a magnet. You have to be willing to do the work. You're not gonna do it, you're not gonna get it going to the clubs, dating a bunch of people, even if you're not sleeping with them. You need to isolate.